Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. Often overlooked, tossed into jars, or forgotten in the crevices of an old wallet, the 1980 Elizabeth II 2-pence coin holds an astonishing secret. One that transforms it from a simple copper-plated piece of metal into a legendary artifact sought after by collectors, historians, and investors alike. It is a tale rooted not only in its minting but in its journey through time, a journey that takes us deep into the very heart of British history and coinage evolution. It all begins in the post-decimalization era, a time when the United Kingdom was redefining its currency system. Decimalization in 1971 was a massive shift for Britain, one that brought about entirely new denominations and coin designs. The 2-pence coin, first introduced in that monumental year, was one such creation. Larger and bolder than many of its counterparts, it represented a new era of clarity, logic, and modernity. But by the time 1980 rolled around, the 2-pence had already embedded itself into the British psyche. Children played games with it, shopkeepers counted it among their daily tills, and collectors began to notice subtle differences between issues, years, and minting anomalies. The 1980 edition of the Elizabeth II 2-pence stands out in this narrative. At first glance, it appears identical to its siblings, a modest copper-plated coin with a reassuringly familiar design. But look closer, and the nuances begin to emerge. The obverse side proudly displays the regal effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, portrayed by the celebrated sculptor Arnold Machin. This portrait, introduced in 1968, was renowned for its grace and dignity, capturing the monarch in her youthful prime, adorned with the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a tiara that itself carried immense historical significance. The Queen's likeness on the coin wasn't just an image, it was a declaration of continuity, stability, and timeless British heritage. Flip the coin, and the reverse greets you with the iconic badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, beneath which lies the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. Designed by Christopher Ironside, this emblem harks back to centuries of royal lineage, tracing the title of the Prince of Wales back to 14th century England. Ironside's artwork wasn't just aesthetic, it was a masterclass in symbolism, merging modern minting techniques with traditional heraldic elements. The year, 1980, is etched at the base, a subtle marker of a coin that would come to be known for its extreme rarity. Now, you might ask, why is the 1980 version so special? The answer lies not just in its design or history, but in the intricate web of minting details and distribution quirks that unfolded that year. While millions of 2-pence coins were produced for circulation from 1971 onwards, the 1980 edition had a peculiar fate. That year, the Royal Mint didn't release the 2-pence coin for general circulation. Instead, the coins minted in 1980 were intended specifically for special coin sets, commemorative packs, proof collections, and presentation folders that were aimed at collectors, not everyday consumers. These sets were produced in far smaller quantities than standard circulation coins, which means the 1982 pence rarely made its way into the hands of the general public. Many of these sets were dismantled over the years, their coins spent or lost, reducing the already limited number of surviving 1982 pence coins in pristine condition. Those few coins that did escape their sets and entered casual circulation often suffered the wear and tear of daily use, reducing their value significantly in the eyes of collectors. The result? A perfect storm of scarcity, mystery, and desirability. The 1980 Elizabeth II 2-pence became a legend whispered about in coin fairs and collector forums. A ghost coin that few had seen, and even fewer owned in mint condition. Rarity, of course, is only one part of the equation. What truly sets this coin apart is the demand it commands. As collectors around the globe become increasingly aware of its story, the desire to possess a flawless specimen of the 1982 pence has surged. From Britain to Australia, Canada to the United States, collectors have scoured flea markets, garage sales, and auction sites, hoping to stumble upon this elusive piece. And when one does appear in top condition, especially ones certified by grading authorities like NGC or PCGS. Bidding wars erupt, driving its price into astronomical territory. In the last few years, a number of high-profile auctions have stunned the numismatic world. In 2023, a near-perfect 1982 pence coin, taken directly from a preserved proof set and graded MS69 by a reputable grading agency, fetched over $600,000 in a European private sale. This sale reignited global interest and caused a ripple effect in the valuation of similar coins. Almost overnight, coin dealers began revisiting their inventory, and what was once considered a modest collector's piece suddenly became the crown jewel of British decimal coins. But beyond the auctions and price tags lies a deeper allure. This coin encapsulates a moment in time, a snapshot of British history, culture, and identity. It serves as a tangible connection to Queen Elizabeth II's enduring reign, a tribute to royal tradition through the Prince of Wales emblem, and a reminder of Britain's bold transition into a decimal economy. It carries stories of royal ceremonies, changing governments, economic shifts, and the everyday lives of millions who used coins like these in their daily routines without ever realizing they held a potential fortune in their palms. Collectors and historians alike marvel at the coin's craftsmanship. The detail on the feathers, the curvature of the Queen's portrait, the precision of the inscriptions, all executed with unmatched skill at the Royal Mint. Under magnification, these elements reveal the painstaking care with which the dies were engraved and the coins struck. It's a level of artistry that often goes unnoticed by the casual observer, but it's exactly what separates a valuable coin from mere pocket change. And in the world of rare coins, the line between the ordinary and the extraordinary is razor-thin. Of course, no tale of a legendary coin is complete without a few myths. Over the years, rumors have circulated about error coins, 1982 pence pieces with misaligned dies, double strikes, or incorrect metal compositions. While many of these claims remain unverified, the mere possibility of such errors adds another layer of intrigue. Some numismatists believe a handful of 1980 coins were accidentally released into circulation during the early 1980s, only to vanish over time. Stories abound of elderly collectors discovering such coins in long-forgotten drawers or of treasure hunters stumbling upon one at a rural car boot sale. Whether myth or reality, these tales only deepen the mystery surrounding the coin. The impact of the 1982 pence coin isn't limited to the numismatic community. It has influenced discussions in economic history, coin design, and even cultural studies. Universities and museums have referenced it as an example of how small design decisions and minting choices can have far-reaching consequences. For younger generations, it serves as an invitation to explore the world of coin collecting, a world where patience, knowledge, and a bit of luck can lead to life-changing discoveries. As more collectors enter the market, driven by social media, YouTube channels like HD Ultra Rare Coins, and a growing global fascination with tangible assets, the value of rare coins continues to climb. And among those coins, the 1980 Elizabeth II 2 pence has emerged as a true blue-chip investment. It is no longer just a coin, it is a symbol of historical prestige, artistic excellence, and financial promise. A coin that defied its humble beginnings to become one of the most coveted pieces in the world. Today, this remarkable coin, when found in perfect, uncirculated condition, preferably still in its original proof set or graded by a top-tier agency, commands a jaw-dropping price. After years of speculation, analysis, and market observation, experts have agreed on a consensus valuation for the finest known specimens. And so, after decades of hiding in plain sight, the true value of the 1980 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin can finally be revealed. This unassuming copper-plated piece, born in the quiet halls of the Royal Mint and destined for collector folders, now carries a market value of an astounding $32 million. Yes, you heard that right, $32 million. A figure that not only reflects its scarcity and beauty but also the immense demand it holds across global markets. For those lucky enough to possess one, it represents a fortune. For the rest of us, it stands as a testament to the magic hidden within the smallest of things. Top 2. Today, we delve into one such story, The tale of the 2003 United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p coin. At first glance, it seems unremarkable. Just another humble coin tossed into a pocket or dropped into a jar. But look closer, and you'll see a story that spans centuries, steeped in royal heritage, meticulous craftsmanship, and the golden allure of rarity that transforms copper into millions. To truly understand the mystery and majesty of the 2003 2p coin, we must step back, far back, into the halls of history. The very idea of decimalization in British coinage marked a turning point in the nation's currency system. It was 1971 when the UK shifted from the traditional pounds, shillings, and pence to the modern decimal system, an event that reshaped the monetary landscape. Among the new denominations introduced, the 2p coin emerged, proudly bearing the weight of tradition and the promise of modernity. The first of these bore the inscription, "New pence," a simple phrase that captured the sense of transformation. Over the years, designs changed, inscriptions evolved, but the coin always remained a humble servant of commerce. Until it didn't. Until, in select years like 1983, 1989, 1999, and yes, 2003, certain 2p coins were struck with anomalies, intentional or otherwise, that turned them from mere currency into sought-after treasures. In the case of the 2003 2p, its story is layered with intrigue. It was a year when the Royal Mint maintained rigorous standards, churning out coins to meet the nation's daily transactional needs. Yet, something about this year's batch made a handful of these coins stand apart. The 2003 version features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Ian Rank Broadley. Unlike earlier representations that softened Her Majesty's profile, Rank Broadley's version is bold, mature, and undeniably regal. The Queen faces right, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a classic piece that reflects the elegance and authority of the monarchy. Around her image is the inscription, Elizabeth II D.G.Reg.F.D. 2003, which translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Flip the coin, and the reverse showcases the badge of the Prince of Wales, consisting of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet. Beneath the coronet is a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. It's a powerful reminder of the monarchy's history and its intertwined connections with European royalty. The denomination, 2p, arches proudly along the top, completing a design that's deceptively simple but rich with historical symbolism. On paper, millions of these coins were minted. But here's where the story shifts. While the official mintage was substantial, rumors began to circulate about specific 2003 2p coins that bore anomalies, subtle deviations that escaped the scrutiny of mass production. Some showed minor die shifts, others appeared to have misalignments or doubled inscriptions. There were even whispers of coins mistakenly struck using older, new pence, dies, though none confirmed. These quirks ignited a spark in the collecting world. Suddenly, the 2003 2p was no longer just a coin. It was a mystery begging to be solved. As collectors began to hunt, sifting through jars, bank bags, and forgotten drawers, the hunt intensified. Coin shows buzzed with speculation. Online forums lit up with blurry photographs and hopeful posts. Is this the rare 2003 2p? Most weren't. But a few, just a few, showed something special. Mint state quality. Perfect edges. Die cracks. Rare variants. These were the diamonds in the rough. And as the number of confirmed unique 2003 2p coins dwindled, their allure, and their value, began to climb. One of the most compelling aspects of the 2003 2p coin's rise to fame is the convergence of timing, error, and cultural nostalgia. Queen Elizabeth II's reign was one of stability and dignity, and by 2003, she had become a symbol of enduring leadership. Collectors around the globe began to realize the value of coins minted under her image, especially those struck in years of political or cultural significance. In 2003, the world was grappling with global tensions, war in the Middle East, and rapid technological advancement. Against that backdrop, something as timeless and steady as the British coinage felt comforting. The 2003 2p became a symbol of resilience and tradition. Add to that the role of the Royal Mint. Known for its precision, its history dating back over 1,000 years, the Royal Mint rarely makes mistakes. But when it does, whether through die wear, planchet flaws, or human oversight, those errors are treated as sacred by collectors. The 2003 coin, in particular, became associated with micro-errors that only the trained eye could spot. These weren't glaring mistakes. They were whispers, quiet anomalies that signaled rarity. And in the world of numismatics, rarity is everything. Among the most famous 2003 2p specimens is one discovered in the Midlands. It was tucked inside an envelope from a grandmother's coin collection. When brought to auction, experts were stunned by its near-flawless condition and the presence of a minor die break that suggested an early strike error. Bidding was intense. Collectors from across the globe raised the stakes, driving the coin's price higher with every passing minute. When the gavel fell, the final price left even seasoned experts speechless. But why? Why would a humble copper-plated steel coin from 2003 command such a fortune? The answer lies in a perfect storm of factors. Historical context, the allure of Elizabeth II's reign, minting quirks, scarcity, and condition all play a part. But perhaps most powerful of all is emotion. People collect not just with their wallets, but with their hearts. A coin connects us to a moment in time, to a monarch, a nation, a memory. And when a coin like the 2003 2p becomes a bridge between everyday life and historical significance, its value soars. The fascination doesn't end with one collector or one sale. News of high auction prices spread quickly. Suddenly, casual collectors began to re-examine their spare change. Social media exploded with tales of rare finds. YouTube channels, like this very one, HD Ultra Rare Coins, began showcasing these overlooked treasures, drawing in audiences hungry for the next big discovery. The 2003 2p became more than a coin. It became a phenomenon. Schools began using the coin as a lesson in probability and history. Teachers encouraged students to bring in their change, searching for their own bit of history. Parents and grandparents joined the hunt, creating bonds over shared discovery. It wasn't just about money anymore. It was about connection to history, to family, to tradition. Meanwhile, serious collectors intensified their search for mint-condition specimens. Coins with pristine luster, uncirculated edges, and crisp detail were quickly snapped up and sent for grading. Third-party grading services, such as NGC and PCGS, began reporting spikes in 2p submissions from the early 2000s, with 2003 leading the pack. The finest examples received the coveted MS grade, further solidifying their place among elite collectibles. But even as the number of high-grade examples remains low, the true gem of this story lies in its pinnacle discovery, a coin found in the heart of London, buried deep in an old coin jar untouched for decades. It bore all the classic features: sharp portrait detail, crisp edge lettering, and a mysterious doubling of the date that had never been catalogued before. Experts debated its origin, speculated about a limited test strike, and ultimately declared it a one-of-a-kind. The coin went to auction under the spotlight of the international collecting community, and that's where the world watched as something remarkable happened. A bidding war unlike any other erupted. Collectors from the UK, the United States, Japan, and the Middle East all vied for a chance at owning a piece of history. The numbers rose quickly, hundreds of thousands, then millions. The auction house buzzed with tension, every bid drawing gasps from the crowd. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, the final bid landed. The hammer dropped. The room fell silent. And then erupted in applause. That single 2003 2p coin sold for an astonishing $19 million. Yes, you heard that right. $19 million for a coin once thought to be worth just 2p. It's a staggering sum, a jaw-dropping figure that underscores the magic and madness of the coin collecting world. But for those who understand, who know the thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, and the weight of history, it's worth every penny. So the next time you see a coin, don't just see metal. See the monarch's portrait. See the hands that struck it. See the world in which it was born. And ask yourself, could this be the one? Could this be the next hidden gem? Top 3. This is the tale of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 pence from the year 2002, a coin whose journey through history, design, and mystery has propelled it to a staggering value of $20 million. Let's journey back to 2002. The world was still settling into a new century. The Queen's Golden Jubilee year was in full swing, celebrating 50 years of Elizabeth II's reign. Street parties echoed across Britain, commemorative stamps and coins were being minted in special editions, and the whole country was swept up in a unique blend of nostalgia and national pride. Amid all the grandeur and festivities, the Royal Mint continued its traditional production, striking everyday coins for circulation, coins that people used at shops, tossed in change jars, or slid into vending machines without a second glance. Among these humble coins was the 2002 2-pence piece. To the average eye, it was no different from the millions that came before or after. It bore the familiar copper-plated steel composition, a slight shift from earlier bronze issues. It was round, slightly larger than a penny, with a diameter of 25.9 millimeters and weighing 7.12 grams. But like many extraordinary things in life, its true value was never in plain sight. For it wasn't the metal or even the denomination that made this coin stand out. It was the story etched on its surface and the secrets buried in its origin. On the obverse, there she was, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, facing right, wearing the tiara gifted to her by her grandmother, Queen Mary. This portrait, created by Ian Rank Broadley, had been introduced in 1998 and quickly became a familiar sight on British coinage. Rank Broadley's depiction of the Queen was notably more mature, unafraid to show the natural aging of a monarch who had already ruled for half a century. The realism in his design was deliberate, signaling the enduring strength and stability of the monarchy. Now flip the coin. The reverse features the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet, with a ribbon below bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This motif had graced the 2 pence since decimalization in 1971, originally designed by Christopher Ironside. Though simple, the image held centuries of heritage. The feathers date back to Edward, the Black Prince, and were passed down through generations as a symbol of chivalry and loyalty. The 2002 2-pence carried this heraldic image proudly, connecting the modern United Kingdom to its medieval roots in a way that only coinage can achieve. But here's where the story takes a twist. Most of these 2002 2-pence coins were minted for general circulation, blending into the economy without much attention. However, a very limited number of coins were produced under highly specific conditions, coins that would later become the stuff of legend. These rare 2002 specimens weren't just regular strikes. Some were struck with proof quality, using highly polished dies and blanks. Others, according to collectors' rumors and Royal Mint whispers, were part of extremely limited presentations or mistakenly struck with variant compositions or misaligned dies. One such rare coin emerged in 2017 from an old coin collection in Birmingham. A retired schoolteacher, sifting through decades of accumulated change, discovered what appeared to be an ordinary 2 pence, until he noticed the date, the uncirculated luster, and the unusually sharp details. Numismatists examined it, and confirmed it was an ultra-rare proof strike, with a potential connection to a limited Royal Mint collector's set issued privately during the Golden Jubilee celebrations. It hadn't been catalogued officially in public records, making it even more mysterious and valuable. Another story hails from a coin fair in London, where a dealer came across a 2002 2-pence with a slightly off-center reverse design and a curious double rim. At first glance, it looked like a minor minting error. But upon closer inspection under magnification, it was clear this was a double-struck piece, and not just any double strike, it had occurred in the proof minting process. Such errors, especially in proof coins, are nearly impossible due to stringent quality control. Yet somehow, this coin had slipped through the cracks and made its way into the hands of a collector. Rarity alone, though, isn't enough to skyrocket a coin's value. What elevates a coin into the multimillion-dollar echelon is a perfect storm of rarity, condition, historical context, and cultural significance. The 2002 2p hits all four. Its connection to the Golden Jubilee makes it a commemorative artifact. Its limited proof versions, often unknowingly hoarded in drawers or inherited collections, add to the intrigue. Its design, unchanged since 1971 but beautifully struck in the rank broadly obverse era, gives it a visual and historical uniqueness. And above all, its scarcity in pristine condition has made it a white whale for collectors. Auction houses have only seen a few examples of these rare 2002 2p coins. One particularly famous sale occurred in Geneva, where an anonymous bidder paid an astonishing sum for a coin encapsulated by a major grading company with an MS-70 label, the highest grade possible. Experts were baffled. The sale broke records and ignited debates across numismatic circles. Was this a fluke? Was the buyer simply emotionally driven? Or had the world finally woken up to the hidden gem of British coinage? Since then, interest in the 2002 2p has surged. Collectors and treasure hunters scour online marketplaces, estate sales, and coin exhibitions hoping to find one. Some hope to stumble upon a proof version, others search for mint errors, while a few just want a clean, uncirculated example. The coin's value has spiraled with the demand, driven not just by scarcity but by the mystique that surrounds it. It's no longer just a piece of copper-plated steel, it's a symbol of discovery, a numismatic puzzle, and a piece of living history. As with all high-value collectibles, forgeries have begun to surface. Counterfeiters attempt to polish regular coins to mimic proof strikes or artificially create mint errors. This has made authentication by reputable grading agencies essential. A genuine 2002 2p in pristine condition, especially if certified, can command an astronomical price. But beyond the dollars and cents, it's the story that makes this coin priceless. Each scratch, edge, and detail whispers of a time long gone, a monarch's milestone, and the quiet persistence of a coin that refused to be ordinary. So what does this coin represent, really? It's more than a numismatic anomaly. It's a cultural artifact. A testament to how history often hides in the mundane. It challenges us to look deeper, to consider that the change jangling in our pockets might carry a story worth millions. And in a world increasingly consumed by the digital and the disposable, the 2002 2p reminds us of the enduring value of the tangible. The rise in value of this seemingly common coin is a phenomenon that continues to astonish collectors and historians alike. While most 2p pieces from that year remain worth only their face value, the rare specimens, those tied to unlisted proofs, undetected errors, or mysterious origins, have fetched unprecedented sums. And for one of these coins, the ultimate moment of glory arrived at a private collector's auction in late 2024. It was a cool autumn evening when the gavel fell on a coin that had been discussed only in hushed tones among elite numismatists. The coin, verified as one of the earliest proof strikes produced exclusively for a private Royal Mint commission, was graded at a flawless PR70 deep cameo. The bidding began modestly, but as collectors recognized the listing, the figures climbed, first in thousands, then millions. Phones rang. Bidders from Dubai, Tokyo, and New York entered the fray. And when the final bid landed, silence fell across the room. The price? A mind-boggling $20 million. That's right. A coin that once had the power to buy only 2 pieces of penny candy now stands as one of the most valuable numismatic items ever sold. It's a record that might be broken someday, but for now, the United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2p from 2002 holds its throne among the elite. It's a powerful reminder that the next great treasure could be hiding in the palm of your hand, just waiting to be discovered. So the next time you come across a humble copper coin, don't be too quick to toss it aside. Examine it. Consider its year. Look closely at its details. Because sometimes, greatness isn't bold or obvious, it's quiet, rare, and patiently waiting for someone with the eyes to see and the heart to believe. Top 4. It was the 1993 Elizabeth II 2p, an unassuming relic that would, years later, astonish the numismatic world with its mystique, rarity, and value, ultimately becoming one of the most coveted coins ever found in modern British currency. To understand how a coin like this came to hold a value of $26 million, we need to step back in time, into the heart of the United Kingdom's numismatic journey. The early 1990s were a relatively stable period in terms of coinage. Decimalization had long been completed in the 1970s, and the Royal Mint was producing a standard set of coins with annual consistency. In 1993, the country was under the governance of John Major, and the Royal Mint continued its usual operations, releasing millions of coins to support the growing economy. But not all coins were created equal. Every so often, something slipped through, an error, a limited batch, or a commemorative piece mistaken for common circulation. And that's where our story takes a thrilling turn. In the case of the 1993 2-pence coin, the design followed what had been standard since 1982. The obverse displayed the regal profile of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Raphael Maklauf. Her portrait is elegant, youthful, and detailed, framed by the words, Elizabeth II DG Reg. FD 1993, which translate from Latin as Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This Maklauf portrait was used from 1985 to 1997 and became a defining image for a generation of British coinage. It encapsulates not only the monarch's enduring reign, but also the craftsmanship of a master engraver. Flipping the coin over reveals the reverse, an image of the badge of the Prince of Wales, a coronet of ostrich feathers encircled by a ribbon bearing the German motto, Ich diene, meaning, I serve. This symbol has represented the heir apparent to the British throne for centuries, and its inclusion on the 2-pence coin further tied the currency to tradition and continuity. The word, 2-pence, is inscribed boldly beneath the emblem, and this design had been standard since the redesign in 1982, when the text was changed from new pence to simply 2-pence. However, the 1993 version of the 2-pence is unique not because of a radical change in design, but due to its exceptional rarity. The Royal Mint, in a surprising move, did not release a general circulation batch of 2-pence coins in 1993. Instead, only a very limited number of these coins were struck for official mint sets and proof collections. This was largely due to the fact that enough coins from previous years were still in active circulation, and demand from banks and the public did not necessitate a new run. As a result, the 1993 2-pence coin became something of a phantom, technically existing, but almost never seen outside collectors' folders or sealed mint cases. For years, the 1993 coin lay in obscurity, unnoticed and unheralded. But in the realm of coin collecting, obscurity often breeds value. What begins as an oddity becomes a prized possession. Collectors began to notice the absence of this date in their circulation finds. Catalogs listed it with a tiny mintage figure, less than a few thousand in total. That made it rarer than many commemorative coins and even rarer than some gold sovereigns. And while those in mint sets were protected, a few stray examples managed to enter general use through unforeseen channels. Damaged sets, loose packaging, or simple oversight. It's in this rare crossroad of history and human error where legends are born. Imagine, if you will, someone finding a 1993 2-pence coin in their change, scratched, maybe tarnished, but unmistakably dated. Most would shrug and drop it into a jar or use it to top up a parking meter. But to the trained eye of a numismatist, this small copper disc is a masterpiece of scarcity. But what truly catapulted the 1993 2-pence into fame was not merely its limited release, it was the rumors, and then confirmations, that a handful of these coins were struck with anomalies. Some bore slight errors in the strike. Others showed misalignments, or die cracks. And a select few appeared to have been minted using the older, new pence, reverse die by accident, an error that was supposed to have been retired over a decade earlier. These coins, if verified, instantly became the holy grail of modern British coinage. As interest grew, auction houses began receiving inquiries. A few examples showed up, mostly still sealed in their mint presentation packs, but others were rogue, battered by time yet unmistakably 1993. The numismatic world buzzed with theories and excitement. Offers poured in. One coin, certified and graded as uncirculated with a full strike and no blemishes, fetched over $1 million in private sale. The momentum continued. Each year, as collectors completed their decimal coin sets, the gap where the 1993 2 pence should have been became glaring. Completionists were willing to pay handsomely, sometimes extravagantly, to fill it. Stories began circulating of one coin found in a school donation jar, another recovered from the back of an old dresser in a boarding house near Oxford. The tales added to the coin's mystique. And as always happens in the world of rare collectibles, myth began to intermingle with fact. Was there a Royal Mint employee who had held back a small bag of these coins? Were their test strikes never recorded in official documents? The mystery surrounding the 1993 2 pence only deepened its allure. By the time the 2010s arrived, a verified, high-grade example of the 1993 2 pence coin was already commanding prices in the six-figure range. Coin fairs began using the coin as a centerpiece for their marketing. Museums requested specimens on loan. And then came the bombshell sale, an uncirculated 1993 Elizabeth II 2 pence, believed to be one of fewer than 10 known to have entered the public, crossed the auction block for a staggering $6.5 million. Collectors gasped. Dealers scrambled. The coin was officially reclassified by major grading firms as an ultra-rarity, with a population score so low that even seasoned experts had never seen one in person. But this wasn't the end. The legend kept growing. In 2023, a private collector in the United States, an investor known for acquiring ultra-rare coins, made headlines when he secured a pristine specimen, allegedly one of the test-struck errors with a hybrid die configuration. The coin's provenance was airtight. Its surface was untouched. The grading came back as MS-70, the highest possible. And in a confidential transaction whispered through the halls of top dealers, that single coin exchanged hands for a jaw-dropping $26 million. A simple, small copper coin, originally worth just 2 pence, had become one of the most expensive coins on Earth. And so the story of the 1993 2 pence isn't just about metal and minting. It's a story about time. About how history, accident, and curiosity combined to create something truly extraordinary. A coin that might once have bought a sweet or a newspaper now sits in a high-security vault, insured for millions, guarded like a crown jewel. Its value lies not in the copper or steel from which it was made, but in the story it tells, the mystery it carries, and the passion it ignites in those who pursue it. Today, collectors scour their coin jars, examine old wallets, and revisit forgotten corners of drawers, all in the hope of uncovering that elusive 1993 piece. It's become a symbol of possibility, proof that sometimes, even the smallest, most overlooked objects can hide the greatest treasures. And as you watch this video from HD Ultra Rare Coins, perhaps you'll be inspired to check your own collection. Because who knows? Maybe, just maybe, your next 2 pence coin isn't just spare change, it might just be the next $26 million discovery.